Yeah.
cigarettes,
I have the
and
master
lollipops.
Yeah.
There's a baby on set.
Today, I want to talk about the 3 main mistakes / lessons I learned, mistakes I made and lessons I learned from those mistakes, shooting lollipops and cigarettes. Number 1, the first mistake I made, I did not allocate enough time for this shoot. This was the first set I was taking charge of as executive producer, as director. And I can honestly say I did not allocate enough time for this. The truth is I underestimated it, which I will never do again. I said, oh, it's a 2-minute, 3-minute film. And all the locations are within 15 and 20 minutes of each other. Half the day should be enough time to get this done. That was a mistake. Because by the time we were finishing with the first location, it was starting to get dark and some people needed to start going home. And this issue with time, not having enough time or not allocating enough time to shoot, caused problems in post-production where we didn't have certain scenes. They were not even that big because I was able to replace at least one of them. No, I was able to replace both of them, but it still posed a challenge in post-production when you had this visual planned for this line, but now you need to make another visual work for it and it still have the same meaning. I think my editor and I, shout out Richie, my homie as well, I think we did the best we could to still get the essence of the film out while reusing footage or picking footage that was not necessarily meant to be for this line and making it work for a certain line. So that was the first mistake. I didn't allocate enough time. Next time, I know better. Ideally, I should have started shooting this thing in the morning because that means even if things delayed, maybe we would have been finishing in the late afternoon or something. But hey, that's why I did that thing, to learn. The second mistake I made was with my secondary lens choice. We were shooting rather on an FX30, thanks to my DOP. Thank you, Akunga. And yes, we were shooting on an FX30 with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. And that was our primary one. But I wanted a secondary lens for certain shots. And I wanted a prime lens with a fast aperture so that I could get certain shots with like a nice background blur. And I picked a 50 millimeter lens instead of a 35 or a wider one. Ideally, I should have gone wider. And I realized this on set because, yes, I had done location scouting, but my reasoning for picking that lens was it was safe. And that's the mistake I made. The 50mm lens is pretty standard. It's called the Nifty 50. It can be used in pretty much most scenarios. So I went safe with that one, when ideally I should have gone for a wider lens because we were in a tight space, number one, and it would have created a more dramatic visual that helps the audience feel more like they're in the character's minds and thoughts and space in that sense, because there's a way that wide angle lenses distort the space and distort the face that makes you feel like you're in there, especially when used in tight spaces. So that's a creative choice that I wish I had made. The 35 or wider over the 50. Lastly, and I think is probably the most important lesson I learned, was about setting professional boundaries. In the creative space, we tend to work with our friends a lot of the time, or family as well, in certain cases, like I was. So the main actor for this film was my older brother. And this is why setting work boundaries, professional boundaries, is very important. I ended up having a baby on my set. In retrospect, it's kind of a funny story to tell because, like, why the hell? What's a baby doing on your set? I'll tell you why. My older brother invited 2 friends of his that I did not, without asking my permission, onto my set. Granted, we were using his place to shoot, which I am very grateful for. However, we're in a work environment now, and this is a set that I'm in charge of. My rule for learning this is no unauthorized people on my set. Don't invite your friends, don't invite your girlfriends, your boyfriends, if you've not asked me first. Because that's how you end up. So you end up in a scenario where you're having a baby on set. And honestly, I was so irritated.
Go to the room. Go to the room.
I can't say if you guys don't want me to stay. Hush.
Yeah, they're disturbing you.
We didn't plan for it.
Yeah, can they go into the room?
Sawa. But it was in those moments where we need to get this done. So you guys stay far, at least, and stay quiet when we're shooting. But it's just not on. And we're lucky that we were not shooting any dialogue with this film. Because once that baby started crying, I was about to lose it. I was already irritated. There are 2.5 people on my set here that I did not plan for. Now this baby is crying. Are you okay? What's going on? Are you mad? Why is there a baby here? Seriously. And it kind of got worse at the end when one of his friends asked me for fare. Now you're seeing me send fare to the rest of my crew, people who I had planned to have here. You, I did not plan for. Where do you get the audacity to come and ask me for money so you can go back home? Are you serious? I very politely declined, let me say. There's no way in hell that was gonna happen. Even if it was 50 bob, 20 bob, no. I did not plan for you to be here. I am not removing money from my pocket to send you back home. See the way you came? There's also a way you can get back home. And it's not my responsibility. You were not my responsibility. Sema ukweli. Yeah, man, those are the 3. There are so many things I learned, but I distilled it into those 3 main things.